the fourth chapter is role playing, and role playing is very common, as you mentioned. But while reading through this chapter, he says that once people do role playing without really knowing that they are actually playing the role, and
Get absorbed.
they get absorbed in the role. And once you don't identify, once you know that you are playing a role, then he says there is a gap which happens between the role you are playing and this knowing, and this itself is very liberating. And so he starts with this distinction that some roles are very subtle and some are very obvious, but in both the cases the person who is playing it doesn't know that he is playing a role. And in the starting he gives this distinction between two kind of persons. One person is very confident and the other person is shy, and he says that behind both these persons there is this ego which is playing, and the confident person's ego is feeling open. He has this continuous need of superiority, whereas for unconscious person he has this fear of inferiority. And then he says that when you feel this need to be superior, or you have this inferior, you feel inferior to other, both are egos manifesting inside you.
Buddha is also when you feel there's always three gateways. If you just say you are superior to him, or inferior to him, or similar to him, all the cases. It is never a manifestation. So what's interesting is that each one of us plays different roles. One time will be superior, other time will be obviously superior to me, other inferior to me, other way around will be.
Yes, that's true.
That's very interesting. So we say that he is a very confident person. There is no confidence in this person. It depends on situation. The situation you will be confident, another situation you will be just trembling कि क्या होगा.
So I was listening to Ram Sumudho, he would read discourses, and when he says, he takes many of these examples and he says this is Kaya Vritti. So Kaya Vritti is same as personality view. Personality view.
Kaya Vritti. सत्य है काया में ये गांव कि काया में सत्य है.
So personality view.
Vritti मतलब wrong view. The wrong view that there is some essence सत्य. It's not just a process. It's being. Some सत्य essence है. So anatta there is no essence in it.
Right. So it's the inverse of essence. When we feel that I am there, I am doing something. That's the Kaya. That is seen as what Eckhart is saying as ego.
See, Krishna never said there is no I. It's very interesting. Never made that statement there is no I. He made the statement,
This is not.
this is Panchakhanda. They are not. That's why some people translate anatta as not I. That is a better translation. Anatta is no I. Several will be a kind of metaphysical speculation. There is no I in that sense. And then somebody says there is I Brahman. Let's take out our swords and find out who is stronger than this I.
Mr. Jansi mentions this unconditioned awakened consciousness so many times.
That is a part of Buddha's teaching. Jnana Sridhar's teachings are quite focused on that.
Right. So is that controversial?
Yeah, some people, the traditional Burmese people, they kind of wish कि कोई उनसे वो सवाल पूछे। तो ये भी नहीं कर सकते कि गलत है कि ये त्रिपिटक में लिखा हुआ है। या तो कहेंगे किसी और ने ऐड कर दिया, वो कहने को तैयार नहीं कि त्रिपिटक जो है वो एडमेंडेड है या एडिटेड है। और अब जब से वो 6th एडिशन वही बना है, 6th एडिशन छठी संगीत हुई थी तो बर्मा में हुई थी, अभी ऑन द ओकेजन ऑफ 2600 So then they have authenticated it. Now it becomes a big problem. So there is equation on it. So even such an erudite person like Bodhi says, they remain a challenge to the Theravada tradition or some special word in this. So जो पुराना होता है उसको क्या कहते हैं? Some English old tradition. So he mentions this, he translates it exactly as Weber translates, because there is no other way apparently. And there is that Bhikkhu Nyanananda who has used it in his book of Concept and Reality. That's a very powerful book, Concept and Reality. He's commented on that and one that's it. So the meaning to वही निकलता है, there is an unconditioned. सिमिलरली एक डिस्कोर्स ऐसे भगवान का जिसमें उन्होंने 6 एलिमेंट, अधिकतर में 4 की बात होती है या 5 की बात, एक में 6 की बात, being is considered. So 5th element and 6th, it has 4 elements of things which are conditioned. नहीं वो जो है अपने अग्नि जल वायु 4 एलिमेंट के वो हो गए, they are constituents of the body, रूपा, then they are conditioned, finite, changing all the time, but then there are 2 more, space and consciousness. They are unconditioned. They are illimitable. Unconditioned means illimitable. Space का कहाँ limit बताओगे? Similarly, consciousness is. वो consciousness भी different है. कोई मुझे तुम कह दोगे कि वो भगवान ने तो कहा था कि विज्ञानम अनंता, विज्ञानम अनित्य, उस चक्कर में देख लो अपने है कि नहीं, कॉन्शियस हो कि नहीं. So that way he tries to put them together. But most people don't want to discuss some such things. It doesn't, tradition, orthodoxy, Theravada orthodoxy. So it goes against, it creates a disturbance there. Therefore people ignore it.
But so Ramchandra is also the tradition, but he doesn't.
Thailand वाले बहुत open mind.
Even including Ajahn
Ajahn has even written at one place, यदि हम कह रहे हैं ना कि 6 तरह के विज्ञान है, it's for saying, actually they are all.
Where?
They are just one, which is absolutely unacceptable to the orthodox. I have read it in his, one of his, उनकी talk है ना, book है उनकी, अजान की टॉक्स के
राइट उसमें 3 पार्ट्स
कंबाइन भी अवेलेबल है.
हार्ट समथिंग ऑफ द हार्ट.
उसमें मैंने खुद पढ़ा तो मैं हैरान रह गया कि मैंने ये कह रहे थे अजान समझ तो एक कदम आगे बढ़ेंगे. वहाँ पे जो थाई ट्रेडिशन में ऑर्थोडॉक्सी भी बहुत है कुछ, बट सम पीपल हैव रियली चेंज्ड द challenge of Aryan Buddhadasa is supposed to be the one who challenge it very strongly. उसको तो heretic type of thing है. जैसे किताब मनका वालों ने छापने में मना कर दिया.
किताब भी छापने
में नेट पे भी अवेलेबल है, हैंडबुक फॉर मैनकाइंड. Very nicely presented. So there are so many shades. What is for you, which shade you like?
जो अजान से वो कहते हैं it makes sense. It strikes the chord.
Make immediate sense. तो दोनों को और भी एक्सट्रापोलेट कर देंगे. और साउंड ऑफ साइलेंस it works. So that kind of a unorthodox way of analysis.
This is a question by Silesh. This is not I versus there is no I. I'm not sure I captured the essence of what Sir said.
Yeah. What Buddha is teaching is that the five khandas are not I. It doesn't answer the question whether there is I or no. This is famous at Malin Putta में हुआ था। अगर मैं इसको हाँ कह दूँ तो फंस जाएगा, ना कह दूँ तो फंस जाएगा। It's a question which is left unanswered. You remember we had read one sutta and which it was said how to answer questions. Kathavattu sutta. So some questions are answered directly, some questions are answered negatively, some questions are answered by asking a question back, and some questions are best left aside. So that kind of clarity is needed. That will, because otherwise we can get into arguments and keep on arguing. वो कहेगा नहीं है, मैं कहूँगा है. Proof है नहीं कुछ. How do you prove what is I, the essence of person? How do you find it out? You can find out कि ये है, ये तो पता चलता है, बुद्धि है, मन है, ये सब पता चलता है. ये नहीं है. Because subject to change, continuously undergoing a change, and it's conditioned phenomenon. It is arising because of condition. We can easily, comparatively easily see. कि जो पंचखंड है वो कंडीशन फिनोमेना है. एक तरह का खाना खाओगे तो ऐसे हो जाओगे, एक तरह के एटमॉस्फेयर में रहोगे तो कैसे हो जाओगे, अमेरिका में रहोगे तो कैसे हो जाओगे, इंडिया में रहोगे. दिस इटसेल्फ shows things how conditioned people are and how conditioned existence is.
Okay. So the first subsection starts with this three names: villain, victim, and lover. And these are the three common role playings he starts with. And in the villain, he says that if you can't get a positive attention, you try to get the negative attention, and that's a role people play very often, and it's very
हिंदी में वो कहावत है ना, बदनाम हुए तो क्या हो, नाम तो बुरा.
it's very common with kids.
They try to get attention.
They misbehave to.
The problem is with parents. They don't give you attention. Most of the time. Emotional pain from past, crime, notoriety, and other people's condemnation.
Right. So the crime also is like people like कहीं जाके तोड़ फोड़ कर दी या trying to condemn other person. Again, this is ultimately this all is to tell that I exist and.
Ultimate question is so I is conditioned, but only consciousness is unconditioned.
Consciousness of that kind, not this. The consciousness which is unmanifested is unconditioned. Consciousness is manifest through senses is again conditioned. So that is because same word is being used, so it has created confusion. This word Vijnana, and that is being called Anidassana Vijnana. Buddha calls it Anidassana Vijnana, but that's not caught on in the orthodoxy. उसको ignore कर दिया, पता नहीं क्या है. So that has been a big issue.
So the consciousness that knows the mood is the.
It is it is a gateway to the unconditioned. I won't say it is. Of course, Bhajan Sumit also points out. No? And there is a verse which we'll read also. No? Appamadam amato padam. Pramadam is translated both ways as diligence and also as mindfulness. So amato padam means the Vedanta wants to translate it as mindfulness. Amato amrit ka pad hai, rasta hai, marg hai, gateway. That is again another verse which Vedanta latches on to. Pramado amatam padam. So that if you are, that is the gateway to the conditioned. Unconditioned.
Arpan, is that okay? Do you have anything else? Still, I'm not sure what the gateway issue is.
Means that in the past condition. That if you strengthen the mindfulness, if you become more and more mindful, if you are not in pramad, then you'll get established more and more in mindfulness. It's a matter of practice. Some people say that those moments when you observe the state of the mind without any raga or dvesha is a small nibbana. Because it is again said to be a heretic kind of statement. But this is what Ajahn Buddhadasa started it, and that's got him into trouble. And that Ajahn Sumedho also mentioned. Talk rattle small nibbanas. Says that the moments when you observe completely dispassionately, suffering is no longer there. So when there is no suffering, it is end of suffering. So you're experiencing, you're getting a taste of unconditioned. So that's the way they put it. So they came from the same thing.
So awareness and mindfulness is the same. Question marks, and these allow us to access the consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. Awareness and consciousness in that sense and unconditioned. So mindfulness, but mindfulness is in some sense a conditioned phenomena normally when it is seen. In the Abhidhamma also sati is seen as one of the mental factors. But sati, the Buddha says sati sabbat prasadiko. That through mindfulness you can achieve everything else. That to gain everything, sati is the prerequisite. It's too small.
स्मॉल निब्बाना प्राप्त हो गया.
किसी और से मत कहना भैया.
Okay. Back to presentation. So the second part is playing a role of a victim, and most often this comes about when we start complaining that we have been offended and nobody is listening to us. This also is like very common. And there is another part about being a victim is that if nobody else is listening to my story, I will keep repeating myself the story in my head and make myself miserable over the past situation where I was treated unfairly. And the characteristic again here is that I am the victim and want to continue like that.
Because it is your identity, basically.
Yeah.
Because
That
you
we get.
want to be free without identity. That sounds, it's like very funny.
So actually, later there is a section where Eckhart mentions that there are people who come and say, I'm confused. So he says that it's okay to be confused, but because the problem happens that you want to know that how can I not be confused, and that creates more suffering. He says that when you are okay with the situation that I'm confused,
Light will shine eventually.
and the third section is about and this is more common, and that at least in India when arranged marriages happen, and
The time between the engagement and the marriage, right?
engagement and the marriage, little bit after marriage also, that we play the role that I'll play what you want me to be and you'll play what I want you to be. And initially everything is good and our egos are satisfied, but it says slowly when that role slips, it turns into anger or grudges, and
So you feel that in the marriages which are not arranged, this is what?
I think it is much more prominent in arranged marriage because in love marriages this has happened over the years, and the marriage is just
I felt that the same thing has happened. The marriage is actually the turning point, and you again get into the same problem. Actually, I have seen it with so many people. As long as they were living separately and commitments were not there, they were not rubbing against each other. You don't know the reality of the day-to-day reality of a person. You live in a make-believe world.
right.
You live in a make-believe world. So at least in the arranged marriages, there is a apprehension कि मैं ठीक से उसको जानती नहीं, ये जानता नहीं, तो वो रब तो होगा ही, लेकिन उसको थोड़ा टॉलरेट कर ले. उसमें तो ऐसा हो जाता है कि क्रिएट्स लाइक है फॉल फ्रॉम द हेवन, क्या हो गया ये, इट्स अ गुड पर्सन, इसको क्या हो गया. यू डोंट रियलाइज that goodness was superficial aspect of it.
And then he makes a distinction between true love and falling in love. He says that when you have this falling in love, there is this egoistic wanting and needing. You addicted to the image of another person, which you have created in your mind. And then he compares that in true love, there is no wanting. You probably accept as the things are.
You see this word, अंग्रेजों में से word बड़ा अच्छा लगा, falling in love. The word falling has its own connotation. It's not rising in love. Isn't it? I use some other word. I don't know. Somebody was very rustic clear. No. So when he says true love, that will be rising in love. Really. So then you embrace the whole world.
So the next section is letting go of self-definitions, and then he talks about the history. Says that as civilizations were formed, their class system automatically developed, and all kind of class system like ruler, priest, warrior, farmer, merchant, craftsman, and laborers. And what happened was more natural, that wherever you born, that became your identity. And it actually, what he said was that it actually became more than your own, in the sense that this became who you were, rather than just a role. And then he talks about today's society, when things are less rigid, like at least in cities, like you can get education and be what you want to be. But people are more confused at where they fit and who they are.
आपको अपनी क्या सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स
समझ नहीं आता क्या
ये हो
प्रोफेशन में
मेरा आइडेंटिटी करती हूँ
हाँ सर पासपोर्ट में तो यही लिखा हुआ है पासपोर्ट में तो यही लिखा है
सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर
सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोफेशनल
When there is this, as I was mentioning, there is this small passage, there is a talk, and then I'll just read it. That I usually congregate people when they tell me I do not know who I am anymore. They look perplexed and ask, "Are you saying it is good thing to be confused?" I ask them to investigate. What does it mean to be confused? I do not know is not confusion. Confusion is I do not know but I should know, or I do not know but I need to know. So is it possible to let go of the belief that you should or need to know who you are? In other words, can you cease looking to conceptual definitions to give you a sense of self? Can you cease looking to thought for an identity? When you let go of the belief that you should or need to know who you are, what happens to confusion? Suddenly it is gone. When you fully accept that you do not know, you actually enter a state of peace and clarity that is closer to you truly, closer to who you truly are than those can ever be, than could ever be. Defining yourself through thought is limiting yourself. These are very powerful words, and at least I've seen in myself that I often get caught. I need to know, I need to solve this confusion, and that's where one gets stuck and keep rolling in loops. So sometimes it becomes very comforting when you can say it so that it's okay. You don't know, it's okay.
How does it match with the inquiry of who am I?
तो मैं एक्चुअली पूछने वाला था
मैं क्यों बताऊंगा बताऊंगा who am I with my expert?
नहीं सर
So in who am I inquiry is also matched with answered with negation also. So if you remain with negation that at least I know that I am not this, I am not this.
Yeah, as long as negation is there is no problem. As long as there is an assertion, there can be a difficulty.
Yeah.
Because an assertion is a metaphysical fact. It's not something which you can really experience. What you can experience is body, sensations, thoughts, minds. That is the kind of subtle difference between the teachings of different great people.
This is a comment from Silesh. In society you need to anchor as somebody, else you will be considered a zombie. Any thoughts?
Yeah, play as a role, that is true.
Yeah.
Role playing is not denied.
Yeah, and
You can't tell your son that I don't know the problem.
it's more about conscious role playing and getting attached to the role
You
you
become
play.
aware that you are playing a role of a father or of a boss or of a junior or whatever. Yes, so in some tradition they say, some natak ho raha hai, all that. And those words are actually meant to convey this. Sometimes you take it to the extreme.
माया है
इसको फिर वो interpret in a theistic manner. उसमें गड़बड़ हो जाती है. नाटक है तो डायरेक्टर बोल रहे हैं डायरेक्टर उसका फिर उनको क्यों दे रहा है then you get into all kinds of complications. Basic idea is this.
So what Arpan is saying, so role play with awareness is okay.
Yeah. Because otherwise you will do it without awareness. रोल को प्ले करना ही होगा. aware that the role is being played. That's, the answer was a simple word for it, don't take it personally. Everything he says, don't take it personally. So that becomes a very good way of taking it forward.
But in my experience, when consciousness is very strong, it in fact moves towards a zombie-like state.
It's not my experience, it's your experience.
So I don't know what does the consciousness is very strong.
Strong, and what does a zombie-like state mean?
Means there's nothing, you don't feel like doing anything.
Oh. I actually because for me one of the biggest factors is the alas. I actually feel the other way around. But when I am more awake and conscious, I tend to see it and I tend to act. यार अब बहुत हो गया, let's do something. So for me it's the other way around. If I leave myself, then I'll procrastinate things.
I mean, I wonder why I am doing the mundane things I am doing.
So Deepak,
I'm not able to understand.
What's your experience in the consciousness? Awareness is strong.
it has to be complete by wisdom, otherwise it won't be some other sati, it will be some other kind of sati. So there has to be wisdom also. So all these factors have to be a kind of informed by wisdom. If wisdom is not there, then there will be this kind of a situation. So wisdom means understanding what causes suffering and what does not cause.
Okay. Okay, so the next section is about pre-established roles, and he says that like the kind of job we do or the kind of area, kind of function we play, like in a military organization or in a government institution or a large corporation, or he says that and in this social roles like middle class housewife or a tough macho male or non-conformist artist, a person of a culture or a universal role of adult. So he says that these all become pre-established roles, and then he says that what really matters is not what function you fulfill in the world, but whether you identify with your function to such an extent that it takes to over and becomes the role that you play. And when you play the role, you are unconscious. And the second part is saying is more liberating, that when you catch yourself playing a role, that recognition creates a space between you and the role, and it's the beginning of freedom from the role.
So I hope Akram's question you answer. The main issue is not the issue, it's not the words which he used. Why do the mundane things which I want to do? So you want to do something more glorious. That is the issue really. Many times I remember when I used to be very busy, I used to always feel that 10-15 मिनट खाना खाने में क्यों लगाया जरूरी है 5 मिनट निकल जाए. Interesting. So the desire to do things is to change the role actually. There's nothing wrong in changing the role if you feel the need to. But if you realize what are our present constraints in which we are living, and what happens naturally needs to be done. So when you think that this is something mundane, बर्तन धोने तो mundane, obviously ये काम करना ही चाहिए. Then we get into a state of non-acceptance of the present situation.
Gandhi mentions is very
So
beautiful.
when we don't accept what is there, then we are really suffering. And that's what I meant by wisdom. So we have to understand that the natural forces have placed us in a situation which is most apt for our growth. And that is the act of faith. That cannot be proved. It's an act of faith that the law of nature will always put us in situations where the conditions will be most apt for our growth. So if I have a tendency to look down upon some kind of work, I will be forced to do that work by the nature, create a situation of that kind. I think I have verified it with myself very often. So when we have a distaste for something, then we say, अरे क्या फालतू काम कर रहा हूँ, ये तो बैठ के मॉन्क बनना चाहिए था, मैं फंस गया वहाँ बच्चों में और So there's that issue that we are not realizing कि जो मैं गृहस्थी में फंस गया हूँ वो अकारण से नहीं फंसा, इसके पीछे भी कोई कारण रहा है. And I must see that can I really live unattached, live with wisdom even in this circumstance. So probably that is the part of my training which I have not completed. And I need to get trained in that. So no, real detachment तभी आएगी. When you attach and then detach, तब तो बात बनेगी. If you don't attach at all, you don't know detachment. And if you really learn detachment thoroughly, then nature will not put you in conditions of attachment also. So it will be like these people who listen to their lives. It sounds very strange, isn't it? At the age of 20 में इसे डांस में जैसे मुझे लग गया था ये सब फालतू की चीज़ें, कुछ नहीं रखा है. फिर भी मैंने कहा चलो पढ़ लो यार, आप कह रहे हैं घर वाले को पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन पढ़ लो. then इसे बस पढ़ने के बाद ऐसा लगे अब के बाद उसके पढ़ना. So natural progression happened. And in one of discourses he mentioned that after I did my masters from Berkeley, I was so fed up with the teaching and with the studies and all this kind of funny things which were going on there, that he says when I went to army, I could not read the instructions which were given there to read. I developed so much antipathy to it. So that feeling of reading something, the attachment to reading, gone. So जो कहा जाता है ना संस्कार खत्म हो जाते हैं, वाची संस्कार खत्म हो जाएगा, बोलने का संस्कार जैसे हमारे जैसे हम बोलते रहेंगे धीरे धीरे शांत हो जाएगा करने का. So that will happen if you naturally transcended it, not suppressed. There is a difference between suppression and transcending. So when there is a desire, the feeling the area also ram hai, one can be sure that there is an arising of aversion and nature wants me to overcome that aversion by seeing it for what it is. So I hope that clarifies.
आप टाइप कर रहे हैं.
इतनी छोटी चीजें नहीं पढ़ती.
A great example about work, and one says yes, it's very insightful.
Let's go further.
इधर करना पड़ता. बस
आ गया ना.
हाँ गया.
अच्छा वहाँ नहीं.
तुमने क्या साइज किया?
16 कर दिया. 14 करो भाई मारनी. आएगा कि नहीं आएगा? 12 कर दो. हाँ अब आप कहोगे आप गलत है, क्या है इतना बड़ा
नहीं
चलिए
तो एक दिन हमें भी ठीक ही लगेगा ये.
Then there is this thing about the temporary roles we play. The example is that when we speak to a chairman of company, we may react, we may speak differently, behave differently, or when we speak with the janitor boy, or when we speak to a child, we may speak like an adult. So like these are the temporary roles we play. When we walk into a store to buy something, we act as a customer and speak as such. And it says that a range of conditioned patterns of behavior come into effect between two human beings that determine the nature of interaction. Instead of human beings, conceptual mental images are interacting with each other. The more identified people are with their respective roles, the more inauthentic the relationship becomes. And at least one simple example I've seen is that when we go as a customer to say restaurant and if there's some fault, like the dish is not properly made, then we being a customer, we get angry. "ये कैसे बना दिया? We are paying for it." Because at that time we are so strong, attached to that role of like,
You don't know it's a role. Actually, ऐसे नहीं करेगा. पैसे दे रहे हैं.
पैसे दे रहे हैं.
और पत्नी ने घर पे खाना वैसा बना दिया तो फिर वो डिफरेंट हो जाएगा.
कोई बात नहीं, कभी कभी ऐसा जाना.
बुरा बना.
Okay. So continuing on that, he says that you have a mental image not only of who the other person is, but also who you are, especially in relation to that person you are interacting with. So you are not relating with that person at all, but you think you are relating to who you think the other person is, and vice versa.
मालूम नहीं मैं कौन. इसके बाद ये किसी ने मुझे स्टोरी थी कि वो जोक था. आई डोंट नो. भैया का कि वो एयरलाइंस की लाइन में बहुत गड़बड़ हो गई. फ्रूट के हुए हाथ. फिर आदमी के लाइन तोड़ के आ गया. शॉर्ट टू गेट. डोंट नो हु यू है. टिकट काउंटर बैठे थे, उसने अनाउंसमेंट किया. There is gentleman who doesn't know who he is. Can you kindly help?
एडवर्टीजमेंट है सर.
एडवर्टीजमेंट है.
उसमें आ रही है आजकल, टीवी में आ रही है. तो इसका ताज़ा की एडवर्टीजमेंट.
मैंने तो किसी ने भेजा था. मुझे लगा कभी देखता हूँ. मुझे लगा कि अच्छा है. You don't know. अगर हम कहेंगे ना फिर भी मन में बात आई जाती है. क्या समझ रखा है किसी को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हो.
So the next is a small story which I will read as it is. Kazan, a Zen teacher and a monk, was to officiate a funeral for a famous nobleman. As he stood there waiting for the governor of the province and other lords and ladies to arrive, he noticed that the palms of his hands were sweating. The next day he called his disciples together and confessed that he was not yet ready to be a true teacher. He explained to them that he still lacked the sameness of bearing before all human beings, whether beggar or king. He was still unable to look through social roles and conceptual identities and see the sameness of being in every human. He then left and became a pupil of another master, who returned to his former disciples 8 years later enlightened.
Great. Great story.
Very great story. So, the next section is he wants to make a distinction between what happiness is versus what true happiness is. And he starts with this sentence which happens most of the time when we talk either over the phone or when we meet somebody and we start with how are you, and the reply comes that just great, couldn't be better, I'm fine, things are fine. And then he says that so this is a outwardly in outward appearance we are giving, and
Just
behind,
words coming out without any inner truth or untruth, like robots.
so in fact I've seen that many times. I am Manuel and कहीं से फोन आता है, कैसे हो, सब बढ़िया है. Pause again and think.
तो इसका एंटीट्यूड भी किसी ने बताया है, जो कि जब क्या करें उस जगह जो किसी से मिलो, you tell him, you look fine, how am I? ये अच्छा जेज है.
So this thing about greeting people and asking how are you, I think relations there, but I found this especially very strong in the Western countries.
Can be done, I mean, very with great love also.
Yeah, but mostly and we carried that to our we carried that to our environments also. Where in Western countries people actually smile at each other for even strangers, but that's a very plastic smile. As soon as you start to interact with them, you realize that they want you to be at arm's distance. But when you just go by them, they will have to smile, they will have to say hi. Office when you're walking, you have to keep your constant, I would say, plastic smile on your face. Otherwise, you're termed to be rude. If you're not keeping that thing on. Right.
So Silesh has mentioned that yes, it is so mechanical here. Q is this
Question is this breaking Sila? No, I don't think it's breaking Sila. It's
not really. I mean, it's a question of being, working mechanically. Just you have been told कि बहुत जब मिलिट्री में कहा जाता है ना, सीनियर आ गया तो ऐसे करते हैं, ठीक है भाई ऐसे करना है, हाथ ऊपर मुआना है. But there are people who do it and do it with right sincerity and then respond. I don't know, आप लोगों ने देखी होगी एक फिल्म थी, when I was a student then it had come. It had become very famous film, Lawrence of Arabia. So उसमें एक जनरल होता है और सोल्जर होते हैं, they are fighting. Obviously the difference between the hierarchy and all, but that they know that this general or senior officer, they know that he is a very good person. So when they are in a very difficult situation, we ask all those people, Patata, we'll do this. So what is your opinion? So opinion based. So one little young novice has a student says, sir, you are a fool. If you do this, you will all die. So then we realized. So that interaction had the formality and that had the sincerity. I like it very much. And that person, also senior Yudhishthira, he also responded when he from the head. So this is Marina Jayamaya. They are caught in a desert and they don't know what to do. So one can do, one can combine. This could be a ceremonious nature. There is a ceremonial, it has a value associated with it. And जैसे हम लोग हमारे कल्चर में बड़ा आता है तो कहते हैं पाँव खेलना. It becomes a ceremonial thing.
Very mechanical
thing. But still it has certain value. Other than acting the back to bend again and again. Because when there is this statement said, when you press your palms together in bow, the chances are high that you will not be angry. Chances are high that you will not have negative. You can have still, but chances are high. Because these postures themselves have certain inbuilt connotations. So there is a value of these things. Obviously it is better to smile at others than frown at them. So to that extent I would say it's okay.
These are conventions. I think when it was commenting, this comment actually came from one of our colleagues who went for, I think, Ajay Pandey's wife. Ajay Pandey was saying that they used to feel a lot of warmth in the relationships here. There people smile at each other so often, but when you interact with them, they want to keep a distance. So,
it's a difference between the two cultures. The Oriental culture has a different taste level, they have a different taste.
but that's it, as you said, these are all cultural conventions.
Yeah. They can be used and misused.
Okay. So, this is the primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. Be aware if your thoughts, your thinking separate them from the situation, which is always neutral, which always is at it is. This is a situation of the fact, and here are my thoughts about it. Instead of making up stories, stay with the facts. And he uses a small example. He's saying that I am ruined is the story which you are making, but saying that I have 50 cents left in my bank account is a fact. And then he says that don't seek happiness. If you seek it, you won't find it, because seeing is the antithesis of happiness. Happiness is
Seeking.
okay. Happiness is ever elusive, but the freedom from unhappiness is attainable now by facing what is rather than making up stories about it. Unhappiness covers up the natural state of well-being and the inner peace, the source of true happiness.
Let's say people talk of suffering. Suffering is ended, happiness will be ended.
Okay, so next section is about the parent or the interaction between the.
So your own experience.
Yeah. And it starts with the role which adults play as a parent. We don't treat the child as an equal, and we say that it's the fact that you temporarily know more than your child doesn't mean that you should not treat your child as an equal. And he says that
Need to treat the child as
at least treat it as more as a human.
Treat him with respect. मर्यादा था धनुष प्राप्ते किशोर से वर्षे शिष्टों में केवल आते रहते हैं 16 साल का हो गया talk to him like a friend है ना
वो तो कहते हैं जब जूता बराबर आए ना पाँव में
मतलब बराबर का समझना।
हाँ बराबर का
पर उससे
मतलब obviously
बात होगी ना उनको कहते हैं
if you're talking of a kid 2-year-old obviously they are treating them as equal means listening to them, really paying attention to them, not ignoring all what they are saying. Normally हम ऐसा करते हैं ignore कि ये छोटा 4 साल का बच्चा क्या इसको पता है जो कह रहा है फालतू, because listening to that आजकल तो शायद 16 तो छोड़िए 6 साल के बच्चे को आपको you have to treat like that because the information overload is so much. The child may be telling things which you may not be even able to think about. बहुत जरूरी है. Equal means, in my opinion, that you should give respect to the child's views also. They may be childish, and they ought to be, but that's not right.
Yeah, that's the message that comes out. Uh, and he actually clarifies that part of the necessary function of being a parent is looking after the needs of the child, preventing the child from getting into danger, and at times telling the child what to do, what not to do. But he says that what happens is that when we overdo it, then giving children what they need becomes excessive and turns into spoiling. And
think there's a very sharp dividing line, to tell what to do, to provide for their needs, it can become spoiling or it can become suppressing. So you have to really have that wisdom. So parents have to have that wisdom. To what extent to agree, to what extent not to agree. वो बड़ा मुश्किल है. It's a tough job. So that itself can lead you to a life. Reflect on it. कोई मुझे नहीं मालूम क्या करना है. तो सूझ नहीं रहा है.
And when he talks about this second aspect, where that after the kids have grown up,
And that is a real
you still can't let go of being parent. And
desire to of us. The child has grown and still you can't let go of being a parent.
वो तो नॉर्मली रहता ही है, इंडियन सोसाइटी में तो रहता ही है.
हमारे यहाँ कल्चर है ना.
हमारे यहाँ बच्चे की भी इरिटेट होते हैं. हम इस कोई नहीं पढ़ रहे.
सर ये हमारे ना सोसाइटी में ingrained है. I heard my wife telling my daughter, तो कुछ इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कुछ बात हो रही थी कि बेबी जब तुम बड़े हो जाओगे ना और तुम्हारा भी बेबी हो जाएगा तब भी तुम मेरे लिए तो बेबी रहोगे ना.
पर अभी जैसे अब मुझे
मेरी मदर, she was alive 2 साल पहले तक, she used to treat me like a child. And I also used to be happy. इसलिए उनके जाने के बाद मुझे लगा मैं बुरा हो गया सच में. I really suddenly realized that बहुत responsibility, because I never bothered about other people. Everything was taken care of by mother and all that. And you suddenly feel proud because you are treated in that particular manner.
अब जैसे आजकल बच्चों को जैसे मेरा ही बेटा है, मैं तो उसको भी शांति बोलती हूँ या कोई पूछेगा तो कहती हूँ मेरा बेटा बच्चे है. तो इतने बड़े को बच्चे ज्यादा भी उनको मतलब मुझे नहीं लगता है कि उनको बुरा लगता है, वो गलत नहीं है. पर अगर किसी को इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे तो यही कहेंगे बच्चे हैं. और तो आज ये तो क्या करोगे?
वो तो एक्सपेरिमेंट तो है, लेकिन वो कह रहे हैं ना मन में हमारे उसी तरह का एटीट्यूड रहता है ना.
नहीं, पर अब जैसे वो रहता है थोड़ा बहुत तो रहता ही है. और हमारी बात माने ये ऑफिस रहता है. चाहे हमारी बात
62 years, I was 62 years old when my mother passed away. 63 actually.
बड़ा
Still that time, वैसे उसमें जैसे दीदी जाता था पढ़ने को, क्या कर रहा है बेटा, सुबह बच्चों की तरह स्कूल जा रहा है, बात है. Then she would tell me, छोड़ दिया है कि इसी को छोड़ा. And she would say, मुझे खुश है इसी में खुश. That's kind of, but identification with the role and giving up that role is quite tough. And those are the things actually the real test is spirituality.
और अगर आप अपनी मान लो अपने बच्चों को बताते भी हो मतलब ना, पर बाहर का एनवायरमेंट सब चीजें वैसी नहीं होती ना. जैसे हम अगर अपने बच्चों को मान लो समझदारी से समझाएं, सिखाएं, करें, बाहर वो कहेंगे उसकी तो
पेरेंट्स से ज्यादा तो स्कूल का असर पड़ता है, बच्चों में दोस्तों का असर पड़ता है. आजकल तो I feel my son also has seen, and I can see everybody these days. Influence of the peer group, it's school and the college friends is much more than the influence of.
बट वो तो हमेशा ही रहा है. मतलब जैसे अब हम
हमारे टाइम पे ऐसे ये हो सकता है कि हम लोग हॉस्टल में नहीं रहेंगे. I didn't stay as an undergraduate in the hostel. So that is the reason. The hostel में तो बहुत intimate हो जाते हैं relationships. But जैसे हम तो देश में होते हैं तो बहुत ही
तो स्कूल में भी मुझे लगता है कि काफी होता है, पहले भी रहा ही है, क्योंकि
I don't remember in my
spend so much time at school.
in my case, I don't remember to have picked up any strong habit from the school.
at the time
At this time, you know, if I reflect,
मेरा habit patterns जो है. When we were in school, at the time there were not so much of environment like that. आजकल नहीं होता. हमारे समय में
इन्फॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड नहीं था ना, तो हम लोग एक दूसरे क्या बात करते हो क्या कहते हो, तो हमेशा यही रहता था. ये समझ नहीं आ रहा तो टीचर से पूछना पड़ेगा और कौन बताएगा.
आजकल के जमाने में सब बच्चे नॉर्मली जैसे ही है, मतलब
इन्फॉर्मेशन बहुत होती है. That is got about the change.
लेकिन वो चेंज तो
But parents being what parents are, so they get into more trouble. These days you get into more trouble. I didn't feel bad about my mother for that. I used to, in some sense, deeply good. Yes, I would think she's taking care of me.
But he mentions about the second aspect that when
Control which influence the child.
if the child doesn't listen to the parents, then the parents will start to criticize or show their disapproval or try to make the child feel guilty or an unconscious attempt to preserve the role and the identity.
It's all a question of letting go.
Yeah, but should we make our child guilty?
No, we don't
I don't
make,
think we should. ये हम करते हैं वैसे.
we don't make जानबूझ के थोड़ा करते हैं. लेकिन उसको कहते हैं ना कि you're not taking care of us, हम बीमार है, तुम आए नहीं, ये वो. If you start saying like that, child will feel guilty. On the other hand, if you tell him, yeah, ठीक है, तो it's all right, don't bother, we'll take care of it. You can't come so quickly. So then there is a difference in the temperament of what you convey to the child.
नहीं, but इस तरह में जैसे दूसरे के एग्जाम्पल दो ना, जैसे मतलब डायरेक्ट
हाँ,
दूसरे के एग्जाम्पल कई बार अवेलेबल भी नहीं होती कि उस समय अगर दूसरे के एग्जाम्पल दो ना तो उससे बच्चा सीखेगा हाँ मुझे ये करना चाहिए.
अब इसी वजह ना मन विचार के grown up of person, then you can't really. Then you can only इस विषय मेरा तो प्रिंसिपल यही है कि जब कोई पूछता है मुझसे then only advice. I don't give advice. तो जैसे मेरा बेटा है वो तो पूछता है तो ये advice. Leave it for him to decide whether he wants to follow or not. But sometimes we get attached. Somewhere कहीं ना कहीं अपने एडवाइस से अटैच हो गए, कहीं ना कहीं हमारी पर्सनल नीड्स से अटैच हो जाते हैं. When you feel you feel यार अच्छा होता है क्या हो, so that now that feeling has to be seen and let go of. If you don't see that feeling and then make an issue out of it, then you get into this problem of making the other person guilty.
From your son or daughter point of view, she go freely and
Not just that, you should see that all of us are born in this world and we have to see whatever happens. Dispassionate, जितना dispassionate रहेंगे उतना. I mean, that's why they said, if you are a good householder, you become as dispassionate as, in fact, you have to be more dispassionate than as a monk. So we have in our tradition, the examples of Raj Rishi. Janaka is, for example, seen as an example of king is totally dispassionate. It's a story or whatever it is. But as a story, it has been made extremely powerful story of a person being a king and yet being dispassionate.
पहले के ज़माने में अगर जैसे फैमिली इकट्ठे होती थी, रेस्पेक्ट होता था, तो उस समय ये चीजें मुश्किल नहीं होती थी करनी. जब मुश्किल से जब मैंने देखा अपोजिशन, तभी तो
when we are living together, then the dynamics is different.
Actually, the whole system takes care of many things.
Yeah.